Piccolo. We're back on Radio Free ARFCOM. I'm your host, John Gold. We're now on with a political candidate. We try to have as many candidates as we can. We're going to try to have more this year with the 2010 election cycle. John Wayne Tucker, how are you today? John, are you there? Outstanding. It's a pleasure to have you on. Here at AR15.com, you made a little bit of a splash with your congressional advertisement with you and your AR-15, and you had a sidearm. I couldn't see exactly what kind of sidearm it was. What kind of sidearm did you have in that advertisement?
Well, that day I was carrying my Car 9mm. It's an MK9 Elite, and that became a little easier for me to carry just because of its slimness. But right now I'm carrying my Glock 27 40 caliber.
Outstanding. I can't say enough about having candidates with the mindset that you do when it comes to the right to keep and bear arms. We actually had up on our forums one of the questionnaires that you went through about the Second Amendment. People asked you all kinds of different questions about how you felt about different Second Amendment issues, and I just couldn't believe some of your answers were just spot on, perfect, the way a real Second Amendment rights activist would want to hear it. Before I go into a couple of those questions, what was the impetus for that advertisement? How did you decide to go ahead and do an advertisement with your AR-15, knowing that it might be controversial?
Well, actually, one of my campaign staff thought that it would be an awesome thing to do, and I didn't have any real genuine concerns about it because, I mean, this is what I stand for, and I know it'll be controversial with some people, but everything that I say is going to be controversial with some people, and so my position is I'm telling people who I am and what I am, and if they like that, it's great, and if they don't, well, then they shouldn't vote for me.
That's outstanding. It's very refreshing, like I said. Now, can you tell everybody about, are you in the St. Louis district? Is that where your district is in?
Yes, this 3rd district covers South St. Louis, portions of it, portions of South St. Louis County, all of Jefferson County, and all of St. Genevieve County.
Okay. So to all our listeners in Missouri, if you live in those counties, this is your candidate right here. This is the guy that's going to get it done for you when it comes to anything about conservative values and Second Amendment rights in particular. Now, I was reading on your website, you ran last time in the last election. In the primary, you ran a very close second, and you only spent $720 on your campaign. Is that correct?
Exactly. And much of that was my own money, but I only had $720, and I did everything myself. I didn't have any help that time around. I do have some help this time around, and but $720 is all I spent. Against a candidate that had $100,000 to spend, and which is either way is not really significant amounts of money. But I walked to a lot of doors, and I went everywhere I could go to hand out flyers, and I talked to people, and I got to know people on a personal basis, on a one-to-one level, and it was a lot of work. And hot work sometimes and cold work at other times, but that's what I did, and it brought in some great results. There were 4 people in that race, and so if it had been a 2-man race, I think the consequences would have been significantly different, and I'd already be in Congress.
Has there been any preliminary polling so far? Do you know where you're at? Does it sound like you're going to be able to make quite a significant impact this time? Maybe even win the primary and get on the ballot?
Well, I've got my name first on the ballot for the primary, so I'm excited about that. That's always a help.
That always helps. Yes.
And as I say, I've got some significant help this time. And as a result of that video, a lot of people from ARFCOM have come through with some money, and that's been great. In fact, if I can mention it, my website, johnwaynetucker.com, we've got an ARFCOM money bomb on there right now. So if people would like to jump in while this show is going on, or or afterwards, we could sure use those donations. And people have, from this organization have been donating $5.56, and that's fabulous. If we can get 100,000 people across the country to donate that amount, that would be fabulous. I don't diminish the value of any kind of contribution that people give, but if you really want to help me get to this goal of being in Congress, then, if you can make it $50 or $500 if you can afford it. I know the economy's tough. Whatever you can afford, I appreciate it.
You heard it, ARF Commerce. Just like we helped Scott Brown, let's see what we can do to help John Wayne Tucker. He is far more conservative candidate than Scott Brown was. Not to diminish the importance of getting the seat in Massachusetts like we did, but we can get enough candidates like John Wayne Tucker in Congress. We can make positive change. We can really affect some change. So, like he said, any amount, anything that you can give to the campaign would really help out, especially if you live in that Missouri congressional district. Dig into your pockets, get the couch cushions out, get the change out, see what you can give to get a real solid conservative candidate in for your congressional district. Now, as I understand it, you actually had a debate with Ed Martin, and he canceled it earlier this year?
It was a meet and greet, I think would have been a better definition of it. But, he doesn't want to be seen alongside of me. He doesn't want me to have any press of any kind if he can avoid it. And so I think that was really what was behind that, but I can't say for sure. But the flyers were already out. The people that had set this up had believed that they had confirmation from him. They'd already made flyers. They wouldn't have spent that money if they weren't pretty sure that he intended to come.
Yeah, so basically he's saying, if I debate you, then I'm giving you legitimacy. Hopefully he can try to keep you from getting legitimacy by avoiding you. But I think that's going to come back and bite him in the butt in the end. I really think it is.
Well, I think it will, but time will tell. But I'm ready. I'm ready at any time to meet him head on, or anybody. I'm not afraid of any of those guys in Washington or wherever they are.
Mr. Tucker, let's talk a little bit about your background. How did you decide to get into politics? I understand you were a Baptist minister before that, and you were actually a university professor as well.
I am a Baptist minister. I was licensed in 1967 and ordained in 1969 right here in the St. Louis area at the Carondelet Baptist Church. And then I spent 27 years as a teacher in the public school system, where I could have used a sidearm a lot of times, I think, but you weren't allowed to do it. But at any rate, I taught for 27 years there, and I taught American history and government. And when I was teaching American history, for the last 15 years of that time, I guess, I was also an adjunct professor for UMSL, and so my classes in the high school there were good for credit with UMSL.
Okay.
So everything that I've done has been servant oriented. I mean, that's what I am. I consider myself a servant. I'm not a politician, and I would like to make that distinction. And if you go to my website, johnwaynetucker.com, you can read all about my background of service and the fact that I don't consider myself a politician. When I think politician, I'm thinking, okay, here's a guy that's generally speaking, not all of them, but generally speaking, I think they're going there for financial gain, or they're going there to advance their career in some way and maybe hopefully become president. I don't want to be president. Being a representative is as high as I have any intentions of going. And I've already indicated to the people here, and you can read it on my website once again, that I'm giving back half of my congressional salary to the district. So,
oh wow!
What else can I say? This is who I am, and this is, I believe that I'll be a servant, and I'll be borrowing the power of the people. The people have the power. I just borrow it, and I'm not going to go up there and say, hey, now I'm some big shot. I'm a big guy because I'm a congressman. I know that I'm up there as a